Hey, looks like there were no technical difficulties during the intro this time, so I guess we could say, welcome to Have You Seen This? We're back. This would be, I think it's season 4, episode 11. Still wondering if Dave is going to catch on to what I've been doing recently. Um, and we've actually got news to talk about. We have so much news. We've also been watching a couple of different series between us, so we've got a ton to talk about today. But first, we gotta ask, how's it going, Rob? Dave?
It's going fine for me. I'm glad that the microphone's worse because I was saying horrible things. Like that mute worked. It's like, oh, thank goodness, because now the show can go on. Because I was saying horrifically terrible things.
See, and I was happy until until Dan started throwing out name changes to the episode. It's like 411. I was like, I thought this was 4-4. I had to make a quick the fly adjustment. Come on, man.
Last week was 4-4.
Oh, it was.
The thing I've been doing recently is I've been taking basically what the date is, and the month is the season, and the day is the episode.
Listen, votes are tallied correctly in Quebec. All right.
I must have been doing it for about a month and a half now. I was wondering if someone was going to point it out.
I wish you hadn't said anything, honestly. That's a funny bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'm excited. You know, we got Star Wars news to talk about, which I always love doing because it's the one.
Star Wars.
It's the one time I get to sound smarter than you guys.
And I watched
C3,
two different trailers.
C3, I got an R2D2, over here somewhere. Right there. R2D2. I almost said C3PO, so I almost disqualified myself. But I said the right one, I think. That's the right one.
Yeah, you know what? You said the right thing.
What? Unbelievable.
I've got an alien, but it's a face hugger, not a Star Wars.
Okay. Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Yeah. But we do have quite a bit of Star Wars news. If we want to jump into that, over the weekend we got news on a bunch of different series and even a trailer or two. Where's my list along with Dave's secondary list? Yes. Nothing but Star Wars now and forever. They decided they are gonna tune back on all of the Marvel Disney Plus content and drop all of the Star Wars Disney Plus content. So, honestly, not a terrible business model to kind of move it back and forth, except that you're going to have people who only like one kind of disengage with the service for an entire year at a time.
Well, I think, Star Wars right now is killing it. Like, we got Andor last year, which is like some of the best Disney Plus. I think probably some of the best Disney Plus we've got, period, let alone some of the best Star Wars stuff we've got of the Disney era. What up to Multiverse of Geekdom. But then also, everyone who grew up on Clone Wars and stuff like me, we are eating right now with all these announcements. And, so it's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. And, the Marvel shows, they need a minute to get back to the glory that they were.
Are you putting a hex on Ms. Marvel? Because I thought that was a terrific show. I think they started doing better as the game. I like She-Hulk.
Miss Marvel was like,
people just like to complain.
Miss Marvel was some of my favorite TV, but also either could have been longer to deal with both of the bad guys, or could have taken one of the bad guys out. It was a little cluttered towards the end, but also they had to get her all the way to the point where she can be in a movie immediately afterwards. So
to be fair with the Star Wars stuff, Boba Fett was good when the Mandalorian was in it. If not, it was The Mandalorian has been fine this year.
Boba Fett was also great when Boba Fett wasn't there.
Obi-Wan Kenobi sucked. It sucked.
I don't agree with that. Like, I think Obi-Wan was fine. Just it should have been a movie.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. It wasn't a television. That wasn't a television show. To drag it on for that long made me want to hit myself in the head with a hammer.
It was 6 episodes.
Yeah, it's too long.
But
okay.
Sorry, go ahead, Dan. I know
One decent episode called a movie would have been fine.
Yeah.
Well, again,
Princess Leia run around like this.
They know what they're doing because the best Star Wars series is getting a season 2, because Andor season 2 will be happening. That seems interesting. How many seasons of Andor can possibly exist
2
before? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's a 2 and done. It was originally supposed to be like 24 all in one shot, but then they decided. Because and they talked about
it.
No, they talked about this a little bit in like last year's Celebration and this year's, where season 2 is going to be a lot more House of the Dragon style. Rob, I know you're not going to be a fan of this, but with like years of time jumps in between episodes, to get us like right up to Rogue One.
There can't be tons of time jumps, though. You know what I mean? It's like, how much older is Cassian Andor between those events and the events of Rogue whatever?
I think they have about 12 years to play with.
Okay.
Because I think the first season happens like relatively like 5-6 years into the Imperial occupation, and then the Battle of Yavin happens 19 years after the fall of the Republic.
So how long after Order 66 does Andor take place?
I don't know exactly. I think it's does Rogue One to Andor take place? I think 5-6 years. Okay. I don't know that for a fact right now. I don't have that information in front of me. But they've talked about how it's going to go right up to Rogue One, essentially, with him. We've seen in the comics how he meets K2SO, and that happens like right before Rogue One. So I imagine final episode is like, oh, K2SO, my best friend.
I was just happy seeing a K2SO kind of robot in the series there, even though it kind of kicks his ass for a bit.
That was really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. You're welcome. That's why you come to Stark for all your Star Wars related geniuses.
But they have been they've been also more clear about what the time jumps are going to be, where it's going to be like every 3 episodes we're going to get a time jump.
Right.
So
they're going to have their little vacuum cleaner droid is going to be on the thing too.
They showed some footage at Celebration, and apparently B2 Emo was not in
Emo, I guess.
He wasn't in any of the trailers, but yeah, he was on stage. So you have to imagine he's going to be in the show.
And somehow Gollum is going to be on the show too. Does Gollum learn how to swim?
Well, maybe he breaks out of prison a different way.
Maybe just, ties a bunch of dead guys together and uses them as a raft. That's what I do.
Seems fun.
Maybe.
Raft and lunch.
Yeah, but Andor, is supposed to be next year.
That fast?
Yeah. Well, that's like 2 years after. That's like a full 2 years in between the seasons, right?
Yeah. And they could have written it by the time they announced it. Like.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for that. Andor is one of the best shows that Disney Plus has done, and I love this new era.
I'm still so angry at you.
I know. I finished it before the series finale, Snark.
Mm-hmm. We could have talked about it every week. I had to bite my tongue.
I know. I'm sorry. But I do really love, just to talk about Andor ending in 2 seasons. I love this new era of television we're in, where like Ted Lasso, 3 seasons, Succession.
That's all you need. This is what you need.
Like,
It's
I love
fine.
this new thing where it's like,
Take the British model. They've been doing this a long time, and their shows are
Yeah.
great.
and it's
There's
gonna
no,
be
you just cut out the filler. You're just cutting out filler.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
But we don't know a lot about
Bottle
Andor.
episodes.
But another show ending after 3 seasons.
Bottle episode.
The Bad Batch, animated show that animated Clone Wars style show that I love, which is just
one of the best.
real Snark. It really is killing it right now. And
I honestly loved the episodes that I watched, and then I had too many other things to watch.
it happens, and
Yeah.
This one they go after Bin Laden. It was their fault.
I show you one episode where Anakin trains Al Qaeda, and suddenly that's all Clone Wars was about. There was so much more stuff happening, but I'm also excited to hear that show will be ending after 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Because but I have to say, I think everyone's gonna die in that show. And Taco, we will not start over, but we are talking about Disney Plus Star Wars, which I know is not a thing you love anymore. Yeah.
So there are other shows. Speaking of animation, we're getting another season of Star Wars Visions. Another series that I watched a couple episodes. I really enjoyed what actually I remember enjoying some of them more than others for sure in Visions, but very, very cool idea.
Did you watch Visions, Rob?
Of course I didn't. That is incredibly insulting that you said that. I did watch that one. I did watch that one cartoon show that only had the 2 people.
Oh, Tales of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
He also watched the boys version of Star Wars Visions.
Yeah, that was good too.
Because The Boys Presents Diabolical is basically
We will be
that,
talking
where
about
they
that
have
later.
a different animation studio doing every.
But I'm really excited about Star Wars Visions Volume 2. I think that Season 1 was very interesting because it pretty much all focused... Sorry, they went to the best anime studios in Japan and were like, hey, give us what you think Star Wars is. And for the most part, it was wandering Jedi goes to a town and saves a town. And it's like, I love that.
It's a Western.
Yeah. But it's a samurai thing. But half the episodes of Visions were that. This, I'm really excited for Volume 2 because they've gone outside of just Japan and gone to the UK and the Netherlands and Korea and all over the world to just get really good.
Are we getting Danger Mouse Jedis?
I don't know. The animation styles in the trailers looked really great.
Some of them looked out there, yeah.
I believe the studio that does Wallace and Gromit is doing one of them.
Oh, really? They're gonna do claymation or whatever.
Yeah. So I think that's gonna be really exciting.
Are they standalone? Are they?
Yeah.
Are they part of the canon?
No, they are not canon at all.
Okay.
There's
standalone. Kind of, someone has an idea to set something in a universe, and you can either take it for what it is.
They straight up did Astro Boy for one of the episodes.
They did actually.
And it really is it's totally not canon.
Okay, I have a question though. If they did Astro Boy at the end of the episode, did they ask you if you were paying attention so you could answer a question at the end of the show?
They did not.
Bullshit then.
But yeah, Visions looks really exciting, and I'm excited to see this again. When creators are not contained by the canon and what Star Wars is in such a direct way, they can just go crazy with it.
Sure.
Rob, for example, in Visions, Joseph Gordon-Levitt voiced a Jedi who, after Order 66, joined a rock band and had to use the sweet sound of rock and roll to get his friend not killed by Jabba the Hutt and Boba Fett.
So basically it was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Kinda. Well, they're short. Every episode of Visions is 12 minutes long. On
Perfect.
The long side.
Yeah.
But to talk about, Rob, the other animated show you did watch,
Yeah.
Tales of the Jedi with only the 2 characters is getting another season.
Okay, with 2 other characters.
I would imagine that one. I don't.
I don't know how much you can do with Count and Dooku.
Well, we definitely.
I think they're Dooku'd out.
Yeah, I would imagine it's going to be similar to how this last season was 2 Jedi who, for different reasons, left the Order. Blah blah blah. Here's how
I
they're
heard there
different.
was a Chewbacca Jedi, so they should just do cartoons about him.
There was a Wookiee Jedi, and Rob, he's in the Bad Batch.
What?
Yeah, I definitely remember seeing him in a trailer. I just couldn't
And Star
remember
Wars: The
which
Clone
one it
Wars.
was.
You know what I'd like to see if they're handing out cartoons to people willy nilly. I'd like to see either like
Willy nilly.
I'd like to see Hanna-Barbera or Filmation get a shot at doing a Star Wars Jedi show.
I think that would be.
I think they should get like all the Jedis against each other or whatever in like a competition, like the Harlem Globetrotters versus the Scooby Gang.
That would be great. And I loved Yaddle in Tales of the Jedi. Let's get Yaddle and fucking Kylo Ren.
Spoiler! I know what happened to that one. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, the Bryce Dallas Howard Jedi.
The other Yoda.
Yeah, the girl Yoda. Who George Lucas was like, I never want to see that prop on set again. But they're like, she's in the movie.
I'm not paying attention. I'm counting money.
But yeah.
I'm counting my money.
It would be really exciting to get, if they stick with just Jedi, I'd love for one of the Jedi to be Kylo Ren or Ben Solo, so we get to see a little bit of his like fall from grace.
Have they decided not to do much with the Knights of Ren stuff? I remember there was a huge thing leading.
There's a lot in the
all
comics,
stuff. Right? It
but
wasn't like Doctor Who's supposed to be a Knights of Ren or something like that.
I don't know.
mean,
That's all
imagine
conjecture.
Imagine how angry people would be if it was the fall from grace of like Luke Skywalker and Ben Solo.
I don't know if they'd go so close as Carlta. I don't know if they'd go so close as to be do Luke and Ben, but like, you know, not Darth Maul and Ben. Like, let's get a General Grievous story. Let's see what happened to him.
I thought Grievous like 3 minutes ago, and then I was like, but really?
Let's see why he loves doing the Lisa Simpson. If I'm punching like this, and it's not my fault if I hit you.
And if I start kicking like this.
Let's see why he loves that move. But I would, you know, I don't know who they'll be, but I'm really excited. I think that's another thing where the creatives just get to flex. They like, we've got 7 minutes to tell a really good story in animation. Yeah. Let's do it.
And like 7 minutes, like even for me, I could.
Frenchie, I'm not reading that. That's gross.
Oh my gosh, 7 minutes is something that I could invest 7 minutes to see if will I enjoy something like this. That's what my whole plan was with the other shows. Like, oh, there's only 2 people I have to follow. It's like 40 minutes or whatever. So it's like, fine, I'll just watch the rest of it. Yeah, 7 minutes at a time is fine. Now, one thing. So they're doing the Andor stuff, and then I heard that there's more stuff going in, like the Dave Filoni Mandalorian verse or whatever.
Yeah,
but that's movies, and we don't talk about movies here.
No, but
I mean, we constantly talk about movies.
Isn't there a television show? Isn't that Skeleton Crew supposed to be a television show?
Skeleton Crew, yeah, with Jude Law.
And it's supposed to take place in the universe, but not adjacent to what's happening.
No, in the Mando timeline, it's
right.
That's also going to be taking place. And Rob, that's also coming out this year.
Yeah, okay. What's that one about?
I know what it's about. It's supposed to be like Goonies in space.
Yeah, it's and directed by John Watts, one of the directors.
Oh, yeah, the
I
guy
think he's
that was supposed to
it.
do Fantastic Four. And decided to do this or whatever instead.
Yeah, well, you know,
Fantastic Four, guys.
That's fine.
Better be good.
But we're still getting a Fantastic Four, and we're still getting Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
Well. Jude Law seems. We don't know a lot because that trailer was not released to the public.
Okay.
But Jude Law seems to be playing either a former Jedi who's been in hiding since Order 66, or a force sensitive, kind of like Donnie Yen in Rogue One,
Could he be
Guardian
like
of the Wills.
like those dudes in the Last Jedi cleaning up with the brooms or whatever?
No, he seems to be handsome Jude Law in the movie.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. Or in the show. We don't know a lot about that. I'm sure we'll get more into that because if it's coming out in 2023, and we know that like Secret Invasion, we know Ahsoka's coming out in August, which we'll obviously talk about before I have to disappear for a few minutes.
So there's 3 Star Wars shows this year?
That'll be 4. Well, Bad Batch, Mando, Ahsoka. 5. Star Wars Visions 2, because that comes out May 4th. And Skeleton Crew.
Count cartoons.
We have to count cartoons, Rob. How dare you? Ahsoka is just season 5 of Rebels.
Oh. We do have to count cartoons, but we don't necessarily have to count out of canon cartoons.
Okay. Well, Bad Batch is firmly in canon.
Yes. That counts.
Yeah.
But it's 4 to 5 depending on which lens you're looking through.
Sure. If none of them have the Star Wars theme song, do any of them count? So there could be 0.
Like they all say Star Wars at the front.
Not with the music. There's no music.
Oh boy. I have to bounce in like 5 minutes. Do we want, or 5-10 minutes? Do we want to talk?
Yeah, we'll talk Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Ahsoka. That trailer slaps. That goes so
looks
hard.
Great.
I love that.
Do you think it was a little on the nose when she calls Thrawn the heir to the Empire?
Shut up, Rob. That was awesome. So I've been saying when I watched Andor, finally, after you told me, Dave, it's a good show. You should watch it, Dave. It's a good show. I kept saying when they kept talking about someone coming to like check in, I was like, it's gonna be Thrawn. We're gonna get Thrawn in live action here. And then last season, I was like, we're gonna get Thrawn. And now I'm convinced either tomorrow or next week we are gonna get Thrawn in this series.
Oh, really? You think they're not going to wait for Ahsoka? You think they're going to drop him right
I think he's going to get teased. I think I talked about this last week or so. It did go so hard. You're so right, Taco. Thank you. But like he is, but I think he's going to show up to tease the Ahsoka series. To be like, even though like Dave Filoni's out here saying, you don't have to have watched Mandalorian. You don't have to have watched Rebels. You'll get it. I'm like, yeah, but like I know that it looks so awesome. They are bringing in a lot of stuff from the cartoon, not only in the characters that like every like main character you saw outside of the orange lightsabered Sith people.
Yes, and to see that dude too, like the guy from Rome and Punisher Warzone as a
Ray Winston, yeah, who I was. So weird. I'm rewatching Rebels right now with my wife, and Ray Winston voices a character that showed up. He voices a Mandalorian character, and I'm like, wait, that's not him. Look, he's in multiple Star Warses now. Those guys are awesome. I wonder why, and Frenchie asked this question down here about their orange lightsabers. I think, and Dave said that we are supposed to pick up on the fact that they're orange, not red. And
I was thinking maybe they were red lightsabers, but there was a lot of yellow light.
No, they're very, and like Dave Filoni has come out and been like, they're orange.
Okay.
If you look closely, you can see the kitchen sink in the background. They really are throwing it all in there. Like we saw, I don't have time to get into it, but like we saw the World Between Worlds or the Way Between Worlds, which is like kind of Star Wars time travel machine, not machine, but like kind of Star Wars' time travel dimension.
You told me about it,
which I love. But my theory about the orange lightsabers is that I think that either they were Imperials who are like trying to like, even though we see them doing bad stuff, they're like coming back toward the light. Like maybe they were ex-Inquisitors.
right? I was gonna say maybe like those Darth Vader dudes or whatever from.
Or they are like some kind of foundation to the Knights of Ren.
There we go. We were just talking about those dudes.
Yeah, it's very interesting because this is something that like I saw on TikTok, so I don't take full credit for. But the Ray Stevenson Sith villain assassin guy, he appears to have Kanan Jarrus's lightsaber, but now it's orange. And Kanan was the Jedi Master from Rebels, voiced by Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah, so like it very much looks like the same lightsaber. So I'm interested to see if they're going to bring that in, or if it's just like this is a design we had. Also, love seeing Dr. Hu Yang, the droid lightsaber smith, coming back, voiced by David. It was the droid you saw, voiced by David Tennant.
Oh, so there you go, more Doctor Who's.
Yeah, he was in an arc of the Clone Wars that was supposed to be set up for a spin-off show that never happened. So that was like 13 years ago at this point, and they're like, you know what, David? Come on back and voice that character again in Ahsoka. We're giving it everything.
Jeez, where else has somebody called David Tennant back to be the character 13 years later?
Harry Potter.
But I am really excited for this, and Rob,
Birdie.
I have to go make a phone call, so I will come back to talk Mando in like a little bit. But I've talked a whole bunch. You guys, tell each other how you feel about Ahsoka. Bye bye.
I definitely can't wait.
He's calling us parole officer, guys. Let's be real.
And let's see.
I thought Ahsoka looked cool. I read the Heir to the Empire books. Like, I actually know that, and we know that in canon now, Chewbacca can't die from a moon, saving Han and Leia's twins. So I don't know much about Thrawn now and stuff, except he's a blue dude. And he's not the best. He's not the best guy. Let's just say that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't have that. A lot of people have a real emotional connection to Ahsoka Tano, right? Ahsoka Tano.
Yes.
I don't have as much. I think it's cool. I have an emotional attachment to Rosario Dawson. So it's like, oh, I get to watch Rosario Dawson every week. Great, fantastic. She looks good. Like it looks good. Like the show looks good. It looks like Star Wars. I'm fine with that. I have no expectations. It's gonna be better than the Ben Kenobi show. I can guarantee it. It'll be better than Boba Fett. Yeah, good, grand, great. I'd love, it's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun. I think the Goonies show, the Skeleton Crew, is gonna be fun. I'm just worried about all these shows or whatever. It's Filoni. We're gonna get Filoni doing everything. I'm just worried about Filoni doing everything. I love Rogue One. I love Andor. I want to see more stuff like that. Are we going to see less stuff like that when you have one guy just like, oh, we're just going to do everything in this universe that I helped create, and that's going to be it for TV. We're just going to get like everything's going to be connected to this. I'm going to get to do movies. It's all going to be connected to this. It's like I'm not up for that. You know what I mean? I'd rather, I like seeing the fucking Andor works because it's like proper. It's proper sets. It looks like old Star Wars. It just looks like Star Wars. It does and I get it. You guys grew up with the prequel trilogies and stuff like that. You're used to all the green screens and everything else. For me, Star Wars, I'll always call A New Hope Star Wars. It's just Star Wars to me. That's what I want it to look like. I want it to look practical. Just a cheesy practical set. I'm all for it. and gun sounds and lasers, laser swords, and spaceships. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the? Yes.
The Acolyte is also another series coming out. Apparently, there was some information passed out at Celebration that we are not allowed to know about, but It seems good.
Bunch of elitists.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that the one where it's like the rule of two, or is it before the rule of two, or something like that, where all these guys are like, "Oh, it's okay to be cis and stuff like that right now."
The end of the High Republic.
Mm,
Uh,
the High Republic. Come on,
yes,
you know what I'm
yes.
talking about. So are they like?
uh,
So this is focusing on the bad guys, though, right? This is focusing on Sith lords. I would imagine by an
I mean,
acolyte.
that's kind of what I thought, but then I see a former Padawan reunites with her Jedi Master to investigate a series of crimes, but the forces they confront are more sinister than they ever anticipated. So it seems
Oh,
kind of more.
doesn't that sound exactly like the prequel movies?
I mean, it does kind of sound like a detective crime mystery.
Like Sherlock Holmes and Darth Maul.
Yeah, yeah.
Unbelievable.
And to be honest, that's the one that I know the least about because I'm least familiar with like that
Well,
era of
here's
Star Wars
here's the
canon or
deal.
non-canon.
I know nothing about it, so I'm all for it. If I Yeah, the reason why I don't like Ben Kenobi is that there was no stakes for me. I knew exactly what was going to happen to these characters, so why should I give a shit? I'm all for. I'm If it's
I mean,
people I know
why
nothing
do you not
about,
feel the
I'm
same
all
way
for it.
about Andor?
What's that? Oh,
Why
what?
do you
Oh,
not feel the same way
because it
about
looks like Star
Andor?
Wars. Because it looks like Star Wars. It looks like Star
Okay.
Wars.
So if
It's
Kenobi
practical
just
sets.
looked more like Star Wars, you'd be
No,
better for it.
no, no. So Princess Leia is supposed to be 10 years old, and she looks like she's 6, since she runs around like an Ewok. Like just cast a 10-year-old. I don't know.
Yeah, that was
I didn't get it.
definitely strange.
I didn't get it. But yeah,
And
she was still the best part of the whole show.
mm.
Princess Leia. Whatever.
Oh man, here's a great piece of news.
Oh
Um,
boy.
well, it's literally the smallest piece of news and the
Mhm.
biggest piece of news.
What?
To move away from Disney for a second.
Get out of here,
Uh,
Disney.
well, we heard earlier that Stranger Things is developing an animated series, and so
Oh, right. Yes.
I looked into it and I can't find any info. All I can find is that Netflix
Okay, good.
has ordered an animated series, but
So, do you think
very
you get the gang together to at least do voices, or is it going to be like set in the Stranger Things universe?
yeah. I am
There's
unclear
ways
as
they
to
can there's
what.
ways they can go with this one at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They could set it in Russia for all I care.
Mm,
Yeah. But if they don't want to show up, if the cast doesn't want to come back, like the Goonies or whatever, don't want to come back, do voice acting for it. You guys can do it from your house, and you're gonna get paid $1 million or two.
yeah. And
Why not
also
do it?
like yeah, there are other things to explore, and um I mean there was other people before 11, at least 10 of them.
Oh my god, they showed a whole bunch of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
getting
do
wiped
meet a bunch of them.
wiped
Well,
out. They were getting
you
wiped out.
well, how did that happen?
They showed a lot of it. Uh, um, did you not watch the last season of Stranger Things? They
I did
showed
not
quite a
watch
bit of
any
it.
of Stranger Things.
You are a frigging monster, sir.
Okay, I that's technically a
The
lie. I've seen
worst.
like 6 episodes of Stranger Things.
Oh god. Oh guys, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to not watch any of the Mandalorian, and I'm not gonna watch Stranger Things. Two of the best shows on a show where we talk about television shows. You know what I
Mhm.
will talk about in a show I've watched every single goddamn
To be
second
fair,
of?
I like The
How
Mandalorian.
I
I just
Met Your
haven't seen
Father.
it.
You've watched every frame of How I Met Your father.
That's not true. There are 2 episodes that I haven't seen.
Oh my god. Well, I take it back. I do take it back. I apologize profusely. Legitimate monster. Like, I swear to God, you should be able to be eligible for prison for this.
Oh no, and
I
again,
don't like
in my defense, I like Mandalorian. I just haven't
Mhm.
seen it. I
How
just
do you not take
never
the
got
time?
into Stranger
How do
Things.
you not take the time? Stranger Things.
Nah, it's just it's
If I could go back, if I could relive seeing Stranger Things for the first time, I would do it. I'd do it in a heartbeat. Unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Anyways, great. Will you watch the cartoon show? Would you be up for an animated Stranger Things show?
I mean,
You
I'm
watch the Vox
curious, like
Machina
what.
show and the
Yeah,
other
I'm
cartoon
curious what they're
shows?
going to do, and I don't know. It honestly depends on if I like the first couple episodes. I'll give it a try for sure,
Yeah.
assuming it's not like so intertwined with the series that I
I was
would be
gonna
lost.
say, are you
But
gonna wait till some people start saying if you haven't seen this or this, don't bother, or are you just gonna decide, oh, I'm just gonna pick it up? Like,
yeah, I mean,
if it has nothing to do with 11 or any of the kids or whatever from the show,
yeah,
I don't see
that
why
would
not. Like,
definitely make me
if they
more
did something
likely.
about like how everything starts there,
hmm Or
yeah,
if it like you said takes place in Russia rather than on the U.S. side.
right,
Again, I know quite a lot about the series because we've covered it in
yeah. Well, you're a
detail, but
monster.
I so yeah, like even if it was like semi connected, I would be able to watch a new series, and if I enjoyed it, I would continue to watch it, but I don't. Yeah, I just was not into the original. That's
Oh,
possible. I wonder if there are people who watched Angel who didn't watch Buffy.
I'm just thought about that too.
They
It was a different kind of show.
were
More, it,
definitely different kinds of shows,
it was more
yes.
of a detective show
And
until the later seasons when it just became kind of like a Buffy show. But that's fine.
mm, and then another little piece of news. Apparently, DC's working on a Penguin series set in the universe of Robert Pattinson.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah,
What's his name? Colin. What's his name?
yes, Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. All right, fine, good. Yep, great.
Yeah.
I got something to say about fucking Batman shows in a minute. It's
Well,
gonna be
let's.
better, guys. It's gonna be better.
Yeah, just to talk on this a little bit. Yes,
Mhm.
spin-off of the film. Uh, all of the cast returning. They were just adding some.
All of them.
I mean, most of them,
So like Zoe Kravitz, maybe then too.
possibly.
Nice. I wouldn't imagine Batman. I wouldn't imagine Robert Pattinson showing up.
And
Or
yes,
you
they're.
could probably have somebody in the suit, kind of like a. You could probably
Mhm.
do like a Mandalorian style thing, and just get
I
John Wayne,
imagine.
not John
I
Wayne's
imagine you
grandson
can
as
get
Batman
Robert
for that too.
Pattinson to do it.
You think?
Like, if you're convincing Colin Farrell to be in it, then yeah, you can get Robert Pattinson to do it for a second.
He's Irish. You pay him in whiskey. He's fine
And
with
it
it.
does seem more of like they would bring him in towards the end, maybe
What,
in
the
an end
Penguin?
credits.
Oh, Batman.
Although, yeah,
Batman. You're talking. Yeah, yeah.
So I don't want to get you guys' hopes up, and I am still on the phone, but I didn't want you guys to talk about this for too long. Legally, I don't think they can have Batman show up because Disney owns
It's another
TV.
thing, eh?
Technically, Disney owns TV Batman
Right. So
because
interesting.
so what
because
about Teen Titans or whatever? Because they said Sir Jorah, or they can talk Bruce Wayne, and this new show, they talk Bruce Wayne, and they show him in the cowl for a second,
I
but
I
not the
don't
suit.
I don't know all the facts, but people have been talking
Very
about
strange.
how
It's very
there's
strange.
because like Gotham was a Fox show because Fox owned the TV rights to Batman, and then they just loan it out essentially.
Right.
So I think it's different. You can't have a show where he is even like anything more than a supporting guest 19th build person, but having Robert Pattinson show up as Batman, I think would be a stretch too far. All right, that's as long as I can keep my boss on hold.
His boss is his parole officer, everybody. That's what they call parole officers. Boss.
Yeah, man. Although, yeah, the Penguin has a very like interesting backstory, and like I do believe
It
a good
depends on
amount of it was covered in Gotham, which I also didn't watch, but
DC has a thing where they change everybody's origin story all the time. They change it
Mhm,
all the time. So is he Oswald Cobblepot, uh, the failed politician? Is he Oswald Cobblepot, the underground kingpin kind of guy? Who knows? Is he Oswald Cobblepot the guy that went to school with Bruce Wayne and stuff like that until things went sour? Who knows?
mhm.
It
Yeah,
changes all the time. Like,
true
and
enough, true
especially with
enough.
their animated stuff, like their movies. You never like. I enjoy the movies because they just change shit up just to suit their stories, which is fine. It's fine. You can change the shit all the time. Who gives a shit? Like, honestly, who gives a shit? Are you married to the fact that Oswald Cobblepot was almost mayor of Gotham? No. Who cares? You care that he's a penguin. Like, my favorite penguin. Well, whenever I say penguin, like whenever I say anything back Batman, I'm always going to say my favorite one is probably the 1966 stuff. So I always think Burgess Meredith as the penguin going. Wah, 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 wah. I love that shit. I love the cheesiness of it. I don't understand why people want like a gritty, hard nosed penguin, a gritty,
Mm.
hard nosed, psychopathic Joker. Like, no, I'm more for the fun of it. So, will I watch the show? Yeah, of course. Did I like the Batman? I did. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. I liked it more than I thought. I thought the Riddler was odd and weird, and again, not like the Riddler that I prefer, but it was still good. So,
Mm.
I believe, yeah, whatever they do, it's if that same kind of universe, but also, goddamn, does every Batman show have to be so bleak looking? And it continues in this new one. Like, the sun doesn't shine in Gotham. That's gonna be the name of my record. The release of record. The Snark Knight. The Snark Knight presents The Sun Don't Shine in Gotham.
Although in that
It'll
case,
just be me playing flat chords all the time. Whoa. Oh my god. The worst.
what's darker, uh, a scene shot in Gotham City or a night battle in Westeros?
Holy shit. Well, yeah. Well, it's Westeros. At least they try and show us, like, oh yeah, we paid this much for this character. We're gonna at least show him a little bit.
We put a big
Unbelievable.
colorful symbol on his chest
I
for
I
sure.
I do like the I do like the mix up there, Batman or like Gotham or Westeros. So tight. They could be in the same universe. They could be in the same
they're
universe.
they're the same company. They
Gotham
could.
Gotham is Westeros's future. Let's say that. There should be a dragon in Batman. Probably is
Or
one.
yeah, like a line of DC comics where we make all of the heroes in Westeros.
Yeah, Batman starts sleeping with his
What if
sister.
universe?
Batman's married to Batgirl and
Batman's a
all this.
Lannister.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Uh,
hmm
all right. So speaking
Poison
of
I
Gotham,
Poison Ivy's fireproof.
I hear you've watched another show.
Well, let's talk about the goddamn Batman show. Okay, so I started watching Gotham Knights,
Hmm.
and I have the rule of three. So, and I will completed. I've watched 2 episodes of it. Now, I was thinking Gotham Knights, so that was going to be like that, like that video game and stuff that came out where it had
Yes,
like
yes.
Batgirl, it had Nightwing, it had Robin, it had the Red Hood. This
Mhm.
has none of that. None of that. Except
None of that,
for,
huh?
yeah, it has nothing. It has Harvey Dent. Uh, Harvey Dent.
Can we trust him?
No, you can't trust Harvey Dent. But okay, here's the deal: Batman in the beginning, like, is murdered in a Watchmen style, like who killed the comedian kind of thing, right?
Right, right.
Batman is dead on the ground, supposedly thrown, like somehow Batman thrown from his office high atop Wayne Enterprises. Uh, he's on the ground there in his tux for some reason, and a cowl, like the Batman cowl, covering half his face. So, yeah, I don't get that. Turns out he left an heir. He left an heir. He in this world, he's adopted a kid named Turner Hayes. Uh,
Hmm.
I looked it up because I can't trust you nerds. Turner Hayes,
Batman tends to do that.
yeah, never existed before this show. It's a
Yeah.
fucking character they made up just for the show. They decided, oh, Batman just adopted another kid. Like Batman should be like Bruce Wayne should be on a watch list. He is adopting a lot of orphans. All right, he has a lot of orphans going through. Now they don't say anything about Dick Grayson in this universe. They don't say anything about like Tim Drake or anything like that. Like for God's sakes, like Batman has a son. Like just use Damian. Just use
There's
Damian
also
Wayne.
a completely different Robin in this series.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Like there's a Robin in this, uh, and it's a girl he goes to school with. I'm trying to remember her name right now, but uh,
Carrie Kelly.
yeah, Carrie Kelly, and she shows up, and like when she shows up, she's throwing bat tech kind of stuff to blow things up and confuse and get people out of there. Um, she's honestly, of the characters on the show, the least of my problems. Probably my favorite on the show. Her or Stephanie Brown. Stephanie Brown is also on the show, who's also a character from the comics, and I believe she's a bird of prey and stuff like that too. She's fine. Now they also have Duella's also on the show. Duella Dio or whatever. What's her name? I can't
Yeah.
remember.
Duella.
That's yeah, Duella. She is the Joker's daughter, and you know this because they almost only refer to her as the Joker's daughter the entire time, and she's about she has the face down. Like you look at her in the face, you say, "Yeah, I get it. She looks like she could be the Joker's kid for sure." She's 100 pounds, maybe, but somehow could beat the shit out of everybody. It's like, come on, like, like not with like weapons or anything like that, not like a Joker style, gonna hit you with pipes and stuff like that. She just beats the shit out of you with kung fu and stuff. She's 100 pounds. Like it's like your house cat. It's like your house cat beating the shit out of you. Anyways, doesn't matter. She's there with a couple of twins. Now the twins, I don't know, or I don't know, or twins, I don't know if they're, but siblings, anyways. Now I don't know if they're part of the Bat universe before. It seems it's familiar to me with Harper Row and what's his name, Cullen Rowe,
Looks
and
so, yes.
yeah. So they get paid to break into Wayne Manor or Wayne Enterprises, and so they get set up. They like there's now this
Harper
thing
Row
called
is Bluebird in the comics.
right. Okay, so they yeah they get set up somehow. There's this thing called the Council of Owls, and the Council of Owls is behind everything. I've
The
never heard
Court
of
of
this.
Owls.
Sorry, the Court of Owls. And they're behind everything now. It's, I never watched Gotham. I didn't watch Pennyworth or whatever, like the Alfred show.
Mhm.
I never saw Batgirl from the Berlansky verse or whatever it's called. But this is some of the worst Batman I could possibly imagine. Batman without Batman. Batman where you basically take the knees out of Robin. Batman where Harvey Dent uh, is the DA at the time and stuff like that, and he's still Harvey Dent, not Two Face, but he's supposedly like brothers with Bruce Wayne, and but he's somehow fine with arresting his son for murder and not figuring out. And no one knows that Batman is Batman. The kid didn't know that Batman was Batman, except for as soon as he died or whatever, they said, "Oh, he's Batman." He's like, "Oh, okay." He goes into his office and pushes a brick, and there's the Batcave. Like it took 10 seconds. Yeah, and Stephanie Brown's like, "Oh, this is a Bat computer," and but it was like, "Oh, are you looking up his bank credentials?" No, I'm in every single bank in the entire world right now. It took 10 seconds. Like, oh, you guys. So I will watch the third episode. They're on the run, guys. They're on the run. The cops turns out in Gotham fashion. In Gotham fashion, the cops are dirty, and they're we're gonna go and just kill these kids, and like all these 100-pound kids go and beat the shit out of these cops. So the Court of Owls has an assassin named Talon, and it's like a sword guy or whatever. It reminds me of what's his name, Dead whatever, uh, and just like cuts the one guy's head off. And I was like, there, fine, I don't mind that. That's like the best thing that happened in the 2 episodes I watched. Some guy gets his head cut off with a sword. It's like, oh my god. And the new Alfred from the mansion, the one that's taking care of Turner, uh, her name is Cressida. Cressida
Mhm.
Clark. Now she spells her name wrong, so no relation. But turns out she's part of the Council of Owls too, and like the world's greatest detective didn't even know that this girl was like up to shady shit. Oh, whatever. Anyways, uh, long story short, Gotham Knight's terrible. Not the worst show I watched this week, but have you watched anything this week? You were
Well,
mentioning
yeah.
you were gonna start watching Beef. Now, before you start saying about that, I said, okay, I'm gonna check it out. I watched about 10 minutes of it. It's not that I didn't like it, but it's one of those. I guess maybe it's a trigger thing. It's like, goddamn, I get angry enough myself. I don't want to
Yeah.
watch. I don't want to watch other people get angry. I'm just gonna get. It's just gonna boil my blood. So, you watched it. What did you think of it?
Um, I definitely know exactly what you were feeling
Hmm.
because I definitely turned the volume down a couple of levels after about the first 10 minutes of the show. But then the show does that as well.
Yeah.
Like especially because um like towards the end of the first episode, one of them has like fully tracked the other one down. Um I I think this show is great. You're right in that like it might not be one I'll be able to fully finish because it is a lot and it's very real. As insane as all of the things are, there's also a ton of depressing elements in the show.
Great.
Like, uh, yeah, these are two people that are like literally on the last tether of their respective leashes, and like
Like
we all
I like Ali
yeah.
Wong. I like Steve Young. Like I like the cast. It's just I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can watch it. Like that's the show. Like I hope it does well for them and stuff like that. And it might be funny and stuff. It just might not be a show I can actually physically get myself to watch. I
Yeah,
tried.
I watched the first episode of it. I didn't get a chance to watch a ton of things this weekend because we for some reason the province decided to freeze solid for several days. And
Unbelievable.
yeah, our power came back pretty quickly, but there were a lot of people around. There are some people who still do not have electricity back on the island of Montreal, and that's pretty wild.
That's what you
Since
Quebecers get.
Thursday.
Hmm.
And even though it's like it was like +8 degrees, all of the ice melted by the next day, but it's definitely ice is the best murder weapon because it does disappear in a few hours. Oh man. And yeah, so lots of fun. Didn't get to see a lot of things because I've been doing a ton of running around this weekend. But I did watch
If the
Beef
Quebec
and
provincial police are watching, all right, okay.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, we I definitely want to like check out the next couple of episodes. I also finished the Rob Lowe show. Wow, that's
Okay.
the Lowe show.
Yeah.
I guess there's two Lowe's in that show, but
Yeah.
yeah,
That kid of
I
his.
finished that one up. I I was a little disappointed with the ending, even though like it feels like it's
Is that
not
going
an
to be?
ending.
Is that? I was going to say, is that going to be
Yeah,
the end of it? You don't think there's going to be another season, anything like that? It was just like a
I
one season kind of thing.
no, I think there's going to be a part two.
Okay.
Like it seemed like a half ending is is kind of the best way to describe it. It seemed like a mid-season finale when we used to have those.
Right. Sure.
Yeah. And so I think that there's a possibility there will be another set of like 8 episodes or whatever we just got.
When the
I
show has Rob Lowe, like when Rob Lowe is on screen, when Rob Lowe is talking, the show is fine. When those two scientist girls and stuff like that, I like that part. His kid even is okay. He's just doing an imitation of his dad,
mm,
but it's fine. It's just there's something about the show. Something isn't clicking for me. It's not terrible. I don't hate
yeah.
it. I liked it. I'm gonna watch the rest of it. There's only 8 episodes. Who gives a shit? Like, oh, I've already gotten what 3 episodes down. I got 2.5 hours worth of programming to watch.
Yeah. And
So
honestly,
I'll figure
like
it out.
for a comedy like that, for it to be slightly above average in the first season is
Yeah,
already a win. But we have I
it was
mean,
better
we've
than Night
been
Court. I can tell you that.
yeah, we've definitely been betrayed over the last couple of years with some of those. But then
Yeah,
we were
thanks to
very
you. Thanks to you watching that entire goddamn season. And then we
but
got another
what I
season
was
of
going
How
to
I Met
say
Your Father.
spoiled with things like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and The Good Place, and we had a couple of years with
There was a good
comedies that
run.
just
Like
shot right out of the gate.
I guess even
And
coming from like sitcoms used to do. Like, it was especially NBC affiliated sitcoms did so
mm,
well. And they had such a good run, but people weren't watching them as they aired, so it would die out. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, so you just need to hire the people. Like if you can sell a sitcom to NBC, take it to Netflix because it'll be better. It'll be better. But god
Yeah.
damn, like yeah, because they had it was such a good run. Like going back to the '80s, like going back to the '70s, such a good run. And
Okay.
now there's like nothing. They have nothing now. NBC's in the
So
toilet.
you watched a terrible show
Oh my god.
that I keep seeing ads for every time I try to watch a YouTube video. I hear Charles Dance talking about enemies within and enemies without, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, Tywin, calm down.
Yeah, calm the fuck down. Like this show is bananas. It makes no sense. It made no sense. Now, uh, god damn. Okay, so Kiefer Sutherland. who's looking more and more like WC Fields every single year. Like that nose is getting to be something now. Uh, Now he has this team of corporate espionage guys or something like that, and uh, they all do this deep undercover uh, spy stuff and setting people up or whatever for money. And but it turns out he he convinces like this somehow this 30-something-year-old woman at a bar says, "Oh, you're the guy for me." Goes and sleeps with 67-year-old almost Kiefer Sutherland, and he's like, "Who you working for?" or whatever. And this is when the craziness starts. And he finds a camera in a phone or whatever and breaks it. It's like, what? That never gets explained yet. It's 4 episodes in. I've watched four. That part doesn't get explained. Somehow she met him on a dating app. He never signed up for it. It looks like the people in his office did this. Possibly you can't ask them because still in that first episode, all these people that you were introduced to, including of course a lady with an Australian accent working for his espionage company. This thing gets blown up. He's getting framed for murder. He's get, he's getting he's getting framed for murder. His picture is being splashed all over Times Square at the time. Somehow he also just walks into a police station, no disguise or anything like that, and argues with the clerk enough that he can get in and stuff like that, and gets this evidence stuff because his best friend goes to the uh, like hired him to do a job or whatever, and this is what's kind of setting up all this baloney. And he goes back and it's like, buddy, I'm getting set up for murder here, probably because of you. And the guy says, you know what? I'm killing myself right now, and then jumps off a building to his death. So he's like, oh shit, what the shit? So he from there he somehow meets up with like there was this car following him, and guys, this show is a lot of work. All right, it makes no sense at no time whatsoever. Does this make sense? It makes so little sense. I'm convinced. I'm convinced that like obviously it's another Toronto was New York show. Uh, a lot like the goddamn Gotham Knights. Like it's like, oh, that's Toronto. Toronto sure looks like New York these days.
Right.
But yes, but they're in Toronto or whatever, but it's New York. They go and God, I got so mad. I lost my train of thought.
It
So
sounds like they stole one of your Brisbane ignorance scripts.
no, it's worse. Brisbane ignorance would have made sense. He would have been a hero. Okay, so this they have this thing. Like there's this thing when they're talking. Okay, the first episode, they're like, I think there, I heard an accidental shit go out. So it's like, it says them before the thing or whatever, CBS production or whatever. It's like, oh, okay. They were trying to do like another procedural type show like they have on like all those shows on CBS, like a MacGyver, like that reboot of
Hmm.
MacGyver. That's so fucking terrible. That's what they tried to do with this show. Uh, and then all of a sudden they just said, "Oh no, we can't sell this to CBS. CBS will never buy this. It is fucking terrible." So they just started throwing swear words in. They started throwing swear words in like Blade Trinity. Like everything was an F word all the time. This lady they have playing like the heroine on the show. This this lawyer girl that he ends up sleeping with in the first 15 minutes of the show, who he then has to kidnap and say, "Who are you?" And she isn't part of anything, and blah blah blah. It's so much work. It's so much work. Her name is
Hmm.
Meta Golding. It turns out, like, I don't know anything. Like, she was in, I suppose, one of the Hunger Games movies or something like that. I don't know. I'd never seen her before. She's pretty, but like her, the acting sucks. She would when they start talking, like she just starts talking over. They talk over each other all the time. And Kiefer Sutherland has no emotion in his voice. Kiefer Sutherland talks like this all the time. You know how Kiefer talks? You know, he's never going to get too upset or he's never going to get too happy about anything. He's going to talk like this. It's always dramatic in this way and never have any affliction in his voice. So everybody has to act around that shit. It's terrible. Charles Dance, all right? The great Charles Dance,
Yes,
award-winning
he acts the shit out of this show, doesn't he? Clearly.
Charles Dance not only should be ashamed of himself, he should be ashamed of himself. If he's the BAFTAs, all those things he's won, he should have to return them with a note of sincere apology because it's terrible.
What if he's listening to this?
I hope he is. You can make better choices. You can make better choices in this. You're so good. Like, never even mind being fucking like a Lannister. You were Brother Noomsy in The Golden Child. One of my favorite movies when I was a kid. This is what you're giving us now. So, in this, okay, some of the, you know how much I hate child acting? Some of the worst child acting I've ever seen. It's terrible. It's so fucking bad. And his dad, okay, there's this, his dad turns out from these flashback things or whatever, he's kind of a paranoid guy, and he had like 3 phones, and then you got to get out the phone because his wife heard all this clicking, got to yell. So he takes the kid away, and and they come home, and kid comes home to his dad blowing his head off with a shotgun. So you see blood all over the wall, holes through the wall, and him screaming, ah, ah, and his mother grabbing him. Oh no! It's like, you got to get out of here. Cut to 30 years later or whatever. It's like, yeah, I'm back. It's like, I faked my own death. It's like, what? Your head was frigging hamburger. Your head was hamburger not 30 years ago. Unbelievable. It's like, oh my God. And then they're all into this, and his dad's a psychologist or something like that who works for a government, maybe. And oh my God. Okay. I'm going to promise you this. I'm going to watch every show. I'm going to watch everything. I'm going to try and spoil as much as I can. I put in 4 episodes of the show between yesterday and today. I'm dumber for it. I also, I shrank 3 inches. Like, it's made me a smaller man. Not thinner, thank you, stupid rabbit hole show. Just smaller. I'm going to watch it, and every week I'm going to report back on this nonsense, on this hellscape of a world called Rabbit Hole, the worst 42-minute program I may have ever seen in my life. Now I said 42 because I've seen 22 minutes of the How I Met Your Father, and I never want to relate that. The worst. It's the worst. Okay, so
it is. It's so fucking.
And this is the second time. This is the second time I'm hate watching a Kiefer Sutherland program. I watched.
Maybe you just don't like Kiefer Sutherland.
I do like fucking like, and without his grandfather, we don't have nationalized Medicare. Like, his grandfather's Tommy Douglas. Like, yeah, his father's one of the most important people in the history of Canada. Or his grandfather. His father, one of the greatest actors. So yeah, and I love the Lost Boys. They're like Flatliners, so good. Like, there was so much. Is it maybe because Julia Roberts left him on his wedding day? That broke him? Does it break him? That first season or 2 of 24 was fine. So yes, Designated Survivor. I remember watching this before we had the show. I watched 3 episodes, and I said, what is this garbage? It's like, God damn it. I got so mad about all the characters. This was an ABC show at the time. Never mind when Netflix took it over for the last year and they could get away with sex scenes and swearing and how fucking stupid it got after that. But I remember William Bibiani had a thing on Twitter. It says, "Have you ever hate watched a show? And if so, which one?" And I just mentioned, "Yep, Designated Survivor." Two people like that tweet, Bibbs and the guy who was the showrunner for Designated Survivor. So after that, it's like, okay, I get it. I get it.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
When
goddamn
even
rabbit
there.
hole. Do not spend a guys. I'm going to. I like to call myself a hero, but once in a while I have to earn it. I'm gonna earn it. I'll watch this fucking piece of shit, and I'm gonna report back every week, so you don't have to watch it. No one should watch this. I'm gonna take the hit. Don't watch the fucking show. It's terrible. I'll act it out if I have to. I'll do better. I'll do better. I'll be a better child actor, dude. I don't give a shit.
All right.
Terrible.
Do you want to give some real quick thoughts on Mandalorian this season, or do you want to save it for next week when we got Dave back? And
well, we can talk more about it when we have Dave. I've seen a lot of shit about this episode.
Yeah,
It's a bottle episode, which is weird considering how late in the season it is. Am I going to complain about a Star Wars show that has Jack Black in it? No, no. Am I going to complain about a Star Wars show that has Doc Brown in it? No, I'm not.
Mhm.
And the show had both. So yeah, it's great. And it turns out like the other, like the queen or whatever, is Lizzo, and I thought she was great. I didn't even know who she was. It's like, oh yeah, she's great. Good, great. Yeah, I liked it. Of course, there's things I didn't like. There's things I don't like in Star Wars, guys. There's the whole thing with Bo-Katan at the end. Bo-Katan, Jin Darden, the other Mandalorian dudes that are there. Yeah. Uh, I didn't think that part was great. Doesn't mean I hate the episode. I like the episode. I want to have Jack Black in every goddamn episode now. Screw this. If you guys had him before, why couldn't you get him in every single one? Bullshit. Yeah, Mandalorian was fun. It's fun. It was fun. You know what? It wasn't like a goddamn Boba Fett episode where it was boring as shit. It was fun. I don't get it. I don't get why people didn't like it. I liked it. But then again, I'm not the typical Star Wars guy anymore. I don't watch the cartoon.
Yes. And it's like, what is it? 2 episodes left? One tomorrow and one next week?
That's what I'm saying. It was so late. So late in the season to do a bottle episode. Like, if they would have done this episode somehow a couple episodes before or something like that, I think people would given it more of a pass. Mm-hmm. As for me, it's like, they're not ending the Mandalorian this year, so who gives a shit how fast they get in the story? Like, it doesn't matter. Maybe the last episode's like an hour or something. Who cares? They'll make up for it, guys. It'll be fine. I didn't appreciate maybe the very end and stuff, like how that happened, but it doesn't mean I hated the episode. I liked the episode. Give me more Jables.
All right. That about. I can't think of anything else big that I watched this week. Just some random reruns of Always Sunny because they happened to be downloaded and I had no electricity. So that's what I watched.
What season are you watching? Like, which ones are you seeing?
Well, currently, like, basically, if I'm falling asleep, I'm watching an earlier season that I've already watched, and I'm in like season 7-ish there. And then if I'm awake and just throwing it on for something to pass 25 minutes, I'm watching like not the most recent season. I think I might be one behind. And
I'm trying to remember what's in season 7. Was that the one with like the gang cracked the Liberty Bell?
Season 7 is the first Charlie McDennis game, and when they teach it to Frank, and it's the season after the one with Dennis getting married and then divorced, one episode apart.
Every single episode's so good.
Yeah,
Guys, just go. Like, you don't have to watch new TV. Do not watch. Take your time. Take the time you could have taken to watch Rabbit Hole, and just go watch It's Only Sunny. It's
just
worth it.
literally any two
Do
episodes
yourselves a
of It's
favor.
Always Sunny.
Do yourselves a favor. The game cracks the Liberty Bell. One of my favorite. Of course, you're gonna watch the Dayman coming. So many good episodes. I like the class reunion ones. So good.
Yeah,
So good.
Yeah. And yeah, so that about does it for me. You got any fun things to plug? Are you gonna be around the internet this week?
Well, you're gonna the latest episode of Starting 11 just dropped, talking about the previous week. A large, double-sized sort of week in the Premier League. This coming week after the weekend, I guess we can talk playoff beers. The Stanley Cup playoffs should be set. We should know who's playing who, so we can run through all the matchups, make some predictions. I should hopefully be able to go live a few times in the next few weeks, talking about what happened every night in the Stanley Cup playoffs until they're finished. Last I saw, my Winnipeg Jets were up 2-0. God, I hope that's still going on. If not, I'll cry myself to sleep once again. But they have a couple more cracks at it. If they don't get a single point tonight, they'll have another crack at it. And Nashville still has to win as well. If you're a patron of the LGRN community, you can watch LGRN After Snark this weekend. My birthday stream, but only for the patrons.
Fun.
LGRN. I'll be 26 years old. 26. Thank you very much.
Fun stuff. And
Mhm.
I don't have anything to plug as per usual, so I'll just let everyone know they should go check out all of our friends all around the different places in the Benverse. You got Multiverse of Geekdom, you've got Something to Talk About, you've got Movie Lovers Unite. Just
don't forget about
definitely
50.
Yeah, definitely go see all of our friends, all of our shows. Some of them are on this channel and some of them are scattered about the multiverse, but look hard enough and definitely check out all the fun content we got.
Skeleton Crew.
It is
Bring
a skeleton crew.
The Goonies.
Yes. Are you just naming random movies now?
Yes.
All right. So I guess in that case we should be playing ourselves out, and as Rob tries to think of other movies that we should not be talking about on this show.
The Last Starfighter?
I'll just tell everybody to have a good week, and we'll see you next time.